4 years and 2 months ago, when I first came into this office as president, by far the most difficult problem confronting the nation was the seemingly endless war in Vietnam. 550,000 Americans were in Vietnam. As many as 300 a week were being killed in action. Hundreds were held as prisoners of war in North Vietnam. And no progress was being made at the peace negotiations. I immediately initiated a program to end the war and win an honorable peace. 11 times over the past 4 years, I have reported to the nation from this room on the progress we have made toward that goal. And tonight, the day we have all worked and prayed for has finally come. For the first time in 12 years, no American military forces are in Vietnam. All of our American POWs are on their way home. The 17 million people of South Vietnam have the right to choose their own government without outside interference. And because of our program of Vietnamization, they have the strength to defend that right. We have prevented the imposition of a communist government by force on South Vietnam. There are still some problem areas. The provisions of the agreement requiring an accounting for all missing in action in Indochina. The provisions with regard to Laos and Cambodia. The provisions prohibiting infiltration from North Vietnam into South Vietnam have not been complied with. We have and will continue to comply with the agreement. We shall insist that North Vietnam comply with the agreement. And the leaders of North Vietnam should have no doubt as to the consequences if they fail to comply with the agreement.
Hey there. I always keep the ads on of the people whose videos I end up using. I'm trying to check here to make, yep, I've got audio. Just had to double check. I had some things hidden. So how are you guys doing? It's been a little while, a couple weeks, maybe a week and a half. I've been extraordinarily busy. I was in South Dakota last weekend. That was a fantastic convention. And I did want to mention, everyone can see the shirt I have on. No, I'm still not a member of any caucus, but this was sent to me as a gift. I love getting gift t-shirts, hint, hint, because when I was on Dave Smith's show, Dave kindly asked me what would be a criticism. What did I think the Mises Caucus was doing well, and what was my criticism? And my criticism was that they were young bucks full of piss and vinegar, and some people didn't like that. So they promptly made a piss and vinegar t-shirt, and I think the back says something about young bucks, and sent me one of the shirts. So I am very proud to wear it since I inspired it. So thank you, and I will alert the gentleman who sent it to me that I am wearing it. And yeah, so if you want me to wear one of your shirts, unless it's something I absolutely object to, like yay communism, I will do so. Love t-shirts. All right. Now, with that little clip there from Nixon, unfortunately, the first thing that stepped out to me was the difference. Like, he wasn't a good person, right? But at least he was coherent. Anyone been watching Biden's press conferences? Oh my God, it's elder abuse. That I feel bad. You know what I thought of that time where he like trailed off, and I was just, it was painful. It reminded me of the Grand Maester in Game of Thrones at King's Landing. Now, I know he was faking it, but remember when he was talking with the prostitute in his room, and he's like, and the thing you need to know about kings is, and he just went off like on this weird tangent, and she's just like, you know, already grossed out because she's in there like with this wrinkly old guy, and she's like, what, you know. That's what it reminded me of. I mean, I feel bad. This ain't right. This is not right. I'm sorry, my Twitter notifications will come up. I forgot to hit do not disturb. If you all are watching on Twitter, please do not blow up my notifications, so I know after I said that to libertarians, it's going to be blown up the whole time. Oh well, my fault. Hey there, Matthew. And I got to put on my glasses. Sorry, I'm old. And, derailed courtesy of, I can't pronounce the rest of that. And Julian, of course. Okay, let's get started. I think one other thing about when I was watching that Nixon clip, the only thing I could think of, because he had that, the fierce, I'm like, that dude needed some Botox between those eyebrows there. But anyway, that's the weird shit I think of when I'm watching this. So let's get on with it. Now, let me just find, I've got a little controller here. I don't use all my goodies. I've got a Stream Deck. Let me do the, Price is Right. And how much would you pay? And I hardly ever use it. So let me see if I can get use of it. So let's hit next scene, and that should bring up LP News if I did it right. Yay! Okay. This is somewhat of a long issue because remember, they're doing 2 months at a time now. So we're doing March, April. We are actually caught up. We are exactly 50 years ahead. It took me a while to catch up, but I did it because I'm a persistent person. So we are caught up. The next full LP time capsule that has to do with LP News will not be till May, but we'll be doing it the first week of May. Oh shit, and I had things I should have brought down here to show you, but we've got a lot of bonus episodes that I have. I got in some stuff and I found some stuff that you guys are going to love it. But let's start going through this. The first bonus for this, as you know, will be the political perspective, and the political perspective is 2 full pages, which is unusually long. So let's go through this. State LPs active. Here's where we're going to start seeing a huge growth spurt. But there's one thing immediately, if you're paying attention, I want to know who's paying attention. You'll see there's something different on this front page. I'm going to give you a few minutes to see if anyone in chat spots what's immediately different about this issue from all the others. Goddamn Twitter. Okay. I'm not going to stress about it. I'm just giving y'all a few more minutes. Let me get a sip of soda while I'm waiting here. Okay, nobody got it? Upper right-hand corner. The address has changed. It was Westminster. It was David Nolan's living room. But it's now a P.O. box in Aurora, Colorado. Unfortunately, Aurora is now somewhat infamous. It is where the Batman theater shooting was. Oh, okay. That's right. I should have recognized your Twitter name. I'm so silly. You'll have to let me know how to pronounce it then. I'm reading comments. Sorry. Yeah, so it was then in Aurora, which is where the infamous theater shooter was. But yeah, I think they mentioned why it moved, probably just because the party was really growing and he didn't want nuts showing up at his house. All right, state LPs active. After a 3-month post-election period of relative inactivity, state LP organizations across the country are swinging into action for 1973. Among the activities being undertaken are membership drives, state conventions, and the entrance of LP candidates into numerous state and local races, which is kind of like exactly what's going on right now. This is convention season, right? And speaking of convention season, I am going to have, I'm so proud to announce, a dedicated show on LPTV. I don't know if I should spill the beans on what it's going to be yet. I think I'm going to hold my tongue because they might want to do some special promotion, but it should be starting soon. Oh, let me put here from Mike. And you're very welcome. You are at the States Summit. Yay. Okay. Yes. So LPTV, look for my show that's coming out. I think you will find it very educational and entertaining, because I don't like making things boring. As I once said, some of you know me from way back when I was doing a religious podcast. I made the end of the world funny. If I can make the end of the world funny, I can make bylaws funny. I can make Robert's Rules of Order funny. Once you've made the end of the world funny, you've got it, girl, you know? Okay. Boop, rabbit trail. Ohio LP. Now remember, I'm going to point this out again. I like pointing out the trivia to you guys. And I should note some of this down because I haven't gotten the formal invitation yet, but I believe I'm going to be invited to the Florida convention to do an LP history trivia. But notice how it says Ohio LP rather than the LP of Ohio. Back then, most of the state parties were called like Colorado Libertarian Party, Ohio Libertarian Party. Since then, things have flipped. It's now Libertarian Party of X, except for a handful. And I wonder if anyone here knows the ones which are still using the old format. I think there's about 5 of them. Let me count in my head. Now, there might be 7. But the rest all use Libertarian Party of X. And the reason for that is so that the word libertarian appears first on the ballot under the party name. Okay, Ohio LP is preparing to host the 73 National Convention. Back then they had yearly national conventions. Under the able leadership of State Chairman Kay Haroff, who ran for office numerous times, the Ohio Party has grown to nearly 50 members and has scheduled a major press conference to announce their plans. In addition to preparing for the National Convention, which will be advertised in Reason, Outlook, SIL News, and Human Events, see enclosed ad reprint and registration material. I don't think I have that. Hold on one sec. I'll be right back. I'm just going right in front of my desk here. Sorry. It's live. Let me see if I have. I've got all my old LP news in here. Let me see if I have that insert. This is 73. Because I found some of the inserts I didn't think I had, and I'm going to be doing some bonuses on those. Ah, looky here. Looky what we have. Looky Lou. We do have the insert. I will put this up for a bonus. We will look at that insert in a bonus since I don't think I have it scanned. Wow, that's cool. And if I haven't shown you guys this in a while, we're going to be doing episodes on these things. I've never even read them. I bought them off of eBay. And it's like these old hand-stapled, like, fanzines. It's all typed, old libertarian newsletters. And let me see if there's a date on here. 1969. Libertarian Connection. I've got 3 of these. I paid a pretty penny for them too. But they are definitely rare. But I don't even know what kind of libertarian perspective they're from. They could be ANCOM for all I know, but I don't think so. But we will be doing those. Okay, sorry. Not really, but sorry. Okay, so yeah, we'll do that insert in a bonus. The New Hampshire LP members are working with Libertarian State Legislature Nelson Pryor to get the Liberty Amendment resolution, which was to get rid of the income tax, through the New Hampshire legislature. New Hampshire LP chairman is Bill Zebure. Oh, God, I'm awful with names. Now, I looked up this guy, Nelson Pryor, because I was interested. Whoa, a libertarian legislature. Interesting, he was a Democrat. We, so far, have been very used to seeing most of the people referred to as allies being Republicans, but he was a Democrat. Short career, because I really couldn't find out much from him. I found a garbled newsletter. Unfortunately, it was garbled, where he apparently also, this is weird, I only got to read part of it. So I could have the gist wrong, but it seemed like he also proposed legislation requiring criminals to advise victims of their rights to call a police officer. I know that sounds weird, but that's what I read. I should have even pulled up that garbled newsletter for you, but half of it was cut off. I'm like, I've got to be misunderstanding that, because that's weird, isn't it? But that's what I read. I read what I read. And Julian pointed out that he found a K hair off for U.S. Senate button. I think I have one of those too, not me personally. I believe the National Party does. And just as an FYI, the stuff I buy out of my own funds, I don't get reimbursed for it. That is LP stuff, I donate to the National Party. So I might have bought one myself, but if so, it's the property of the National Party because I donate that stuff. The things I keep are these things like that zine I showed you, because that's not national history. And I just found some really good stuff last week that I bought. Okay, continuing. The Hawaii LP held its state convention on January 15th. They now have 35 members. They produced and distributed 1,000 copies of a brochure entitled Public Enemy No. 1, Government at a Rock Festival. I tried to find this brochure. No luck. Maybe somebody in Hawaii still has it. I don't know, but I tried to find it for you guys. Okay. Massachusetts LP Chairman Paul Siegler and National Executive Committee member Mark Frazier, who was one of the authors of one of the contenders for the Statement of Principles, were interviewed at length by the Boston Globe. Siegler and Walter Ziabro also had a 1/3 page letter in the Fall River Herald News, which is also a Massachusetts newspaper, advocating deregulation as a solution to the city's transit problem. Bay State LP now has about 60 members. Now, you know, with my newspapers.com subscription, which your patronage of the show helps pay for that subscription, I did try to find these articles. I found one of them. I found the Boston Globe article. Unfortunately, I was not able to find the Fall River Herald News letter. I think that's small, and it's now just called the Herald. Oh, I think I got to sneeze. Hold on one second. Sorry. Woo! It gets dusty. I'm down in the basement. Okay, so let's pull up that article. I haven't even read it. I pulled it up right before the show of Boston Globe. So let me see where I put that. I think it's in my next scene. Yeah. Here we go. And I also have it printed out for me here, but this, look what newspaper, oh my God. We might need to read this in a bonus because, let me show you, newspapers.com, their printout sucks. Look at how tiny that is. You think my old eyes can read that? I need a magnifying glass. But let me see. I'd like to skim it. So let me see if I can pull it up. I've got another screen down here. If you notice that I look down, I got this old, I need to do another studio tour. I've got this old typist desk, which has this recessed thing for a typewriter. It's perfect for putting my equipment so it doesn't interfere with the scene. But let me see if I can pull up for myself that article and make it bigger here so I can read it to you guys. Not read the whole thing, but you know what I'm saying, okay? Oh yeah, okay. I love that headline. Once again, and I just did this in South Dakota. If there's anybody here from South Dakota, they will remember. Libertarian Party position from day one was to end all taxation. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. But be honest. Be honest, Pinocchio. That is the LP position. End all taxation. And public schools. Arvin would be very happy. There's a lot of libertarians today who don't have the backbone to say that is actually the logical consequence of consistent libertarianism. But again, as you know, I do not play the who's a true libertarian game. I think it's stupid. Everybody has a mixture of ideas. People are not walking bundles of ideological purity. So, but let's skim over this to see what might be interesting here. Oh, the taxation's in the first sentence. The eventual repeal of all taxation. And funny, this Globe, Massachusetts staff writer had no problem with that. He said, that's easy enough to favor. But here's where he started to have problems if you go to the second paragraph. But what about the abolition of Social Security, public schools, state-supported colleges, the agricultural department, the Federal Reserve System, and laws restricting marijuana, heroin, voluntary sexual relations, and gambling? What about repeal of the National Labor Relations Act, the Interstate Commerce Act, and all antitrust laws? These two are all measures advocated by the Libertarian Party. The traditional categories of left and right are rendered virtually meaningless. That is true. And once again, I think we're down to like the fourth paragraph, laissez-faire capitalism. The early party was capitalistic through and through. Again, you don't have to like it, but channeling my inner Ben Shapiro, history does not care about our feelings. Okay, let's talk here. It's talking about the faithless elector, referring to Nixon. I am going to put this article up on Lpedia. Richard the Lion-Hearted, Lyin. I might start calling Bill Weld that. Okay, I want to see if there's anything else super, super interesting in here. It just gives some of the history that we've gone over and some of the activism that they've done. Here it talks about the taxation issue again in the third column. Just as LP members believe voluntary contributions rather than taxes should ultimately support the few quote-unquote legitimate functions of the government. And remember, in 74, that changed. Not the taxation thing, but the party's position that there were any legitimate functions. The party right now is agnostic as to whether there are or there are not. Okay, and it just talks a little bit about the Massachusetts Party. Okay, let me see here. Yeah. All right, and there's a picture there of Paul Siegler and New England Regional Chairman Mark Fraser. Seeks to eliminate all control by government. Isn't that a beautiful thing? So, I will put that up on Lpedia if you want to read it more in full. But that is a great write-up, I think. So let me find my screen here to go back to where we were. Okay, so we are continuing at the first column towards the bottom. New Jersey LP had a state convention February 24th and nominated John Goodson of New Brunswick as their gubernatorial candidate. The election is this year. These names are going to kill me. Also nominated were Ralph Fucitolo and Philip D. Block for state assembly. Their convention, which was addressed by Murray Rothbard, yay Murray, received good newspaper coverage. I should have looked for that. I didn't look for that newspaper coverage. Do I have my pen here? Well, that might be a bonus. Okay, let's see here. Dissatisfied conservatives are turning to the LP for consistent philosophy. That's been the pipe dream. How do I word this the right way? Dissatisfied conservatives are not going to come to the LP unless what they're dissatisfied with is ultimately conservatism. I said it. We need to stop pretending that conservatives, real conservatives, will be comfortable here, because they will not. If they were, we would be a conservative party rather than a libertarian party. Arizona LP also held its convention February 24th. Now they're required to have their conventions in January. About 75 people attended. New state chairman is Nathan Stevens, and his address. A second convention to hammer out a platform is scheduled. Alaska LP held its convention February 11th. The guest of honor was John Hospers, who appeared on nearly a dozen Alaska radio and TV stations and spoke to a group of nearly 100 people. And that is a lot in Alaska, particularly for February. The LP there is actively supporting movements to legalize prostitution and is also cooperating with the secessionist movement. Texas LP members were in evidence at the recent national convention of the National Women's Political Caucus. They distributed material by Lynn Kinsky, Sharon Presley, and Mike Holmes. Sharon Presley is still active. She's with the Association of Libertarian Feminists. Mike Holmes still writes me periodically, maybe like 4 times a year. He's not the biggest fan of the LP. He is an OG. He still follows us. It's like you can't quit us. He was the editor of that newsletter that was out for a while called American Libertarian. Okay, copies available from Georgianne Trammell. Georgianne has also been appointed acting secretary of the National LP to replace Diana Amsden of New Mexico, who resigned for personal reasons. The New York FLP, and here's a bit of trivia, somebody from New York can give a fuller picture. I really only know the sketchy outlines of this. I'm sure I'll learn more. But for some reason, the New York party couldn't be called the Libertarian Party. There was a competing group, I think. So they had to call themselves the Free Libertarian Party. And I like that name. Actually, that would have been kind of cool in a way if the National took that. I don't know. I just like Free Libertarian. That sounds so great. But what other kind of libertarian is there, I guess? Is that like Jumbo Shrimp? No, that's opposite. Free Libertarian is... Never mind. I'm really going off on a rabbit trail. Okay, the Michigan LP has almost 100 members, and it gives the dates and location for their convention. Oklahoma LP is fielding Stephen Brown as its candidate for the city council in Norman, which is a nonpartisan election. Oklahoma LP is working with other groups to set up an outfit which will pressure to have libertarians and conservatives included in cultural programs. Colorado LP is fielding 3 candidates for city council in Colorado Springs. The California LP, the largest in the country, it still is the largest in the country. 400 members, or 1/6 of the national total. They now have over 1/10 of the national total. Let's see here. Held its convention with 125 members. Ed Clark, National Vice Chair, was elected state chairman with Ed Crane and Bill White as regional vice chairman. Main project for the coming year, circulation of petitions to place on the 74 ballot a referendum making all legislation automatically expire unless repassed every so many years. So a sunset provision, and that is awesome. Note, California LP alone now has more members than the National LP had 1 year ago. That is awesome. And thank you very much for the compliment, Mark. Okay, the next page is political perspective, which we always do as a bonus. So let's, I went to the wrong scene. Right here. Here we go. That we're going to do as a bonus, and I said it was a 2-pager. So, bits and pieces. But just to give you a taste of what the political perspective is about, it is about the 2-party system and how a minority party can become a major party, and it gives like a summary of other minor parties that existed in the 70s. So it's really, really interesting. All right, bits and pieces. This is the last page of what we're going to be doing today. And of course, we could discuss anything in here, any questions, comments. You know, this is interactive. New address for National LP. That's what I had pointed out in the beginning. Effective immediately, all correspondence will be sent to the Aurora address. We are no longer at, I wonder if he moved, because he says letters sent there will be delayed or lost. So perhaps David Nolan moved at that point. New brochure and button in stock. I have some photos of these that I would like to show you guys. So while I read that, let me pull down this and pull up. Here's the bumper sticker, and here's the button with the slogan of Declare Your Independence. So at long last, we now have available a new LP recruiting brochure, which replaces both the old, and there's my Twitter notification, Break Free campaign and blue membership application. This is an attractive, high-quality brochure with a built-in membership application and is listed on the enclosed order form. See, do I have the order form on? I do, so we will be going over this in the bonus episode. All right, where did I leave off? Okay, here we go. Also listed are our new Declare Your Independence buttons. Items not listed on the order form are no longer available. Okay, so now let's go back to the LP news. Let's take those off. And where did I... No? Oh, here it is. Durr. Okay. Sometimes I'm such an idiot. About our new look. The striking graphics. He like the way he describes these. I don't know. We don't talk like this anymore. Like the high quality, attractive, striking. I don't know. He sounds like a used car salesman. The striking graphics on our new brochures, buttons, bumper stickers, and stationery are the work of John James, a talented young designer who also happens to be the vice chair of the Colorado LP. And he pimps his work there that you could hire him. Now, this next paragraph, I want this booklet. I found the publishing information, but I can't find the booklet anywhere. Eventually I will, but I wish I had it for you guys today. But it says, What is Libertarianism? That's the title of a very well-written new 20-page booklet by Anthony C. Sutton of the Hoover Institution at Stanford University. This is an excellent introductory piece for use in educating potential recruits and media people. Now, I researched a little bit into Anthony. And, oh, Mark, I do see your question. So at the end, I love questions. I'll put that up and we'll talk about it when we get to the end of bits and pieces here. Now, Anthony's an interesting guy. He wrote a lot. Some of it seems a bit conspiracy theory-ish, like secret organizations and stuff like that. But he also wrote a lot about the gold standard and the like. But he really does seem a little bit on the paranoid side. But I would love to have this booklet. Also, laissez-faire stickers available. And they have the stickers and the buttons. I don't have any of those stickers, but we've seen what the buttons look like. National Tax Protest Day, Saturday, April 14th. And this is something we do now, at least if you aren't, I would encourage you. For the next bonus, I might find this picture to show you guys. Actually, I might look for it in the background here. I'm going to tell you a story. I went to the Arizona convention. I think this was about 3 years ago, but I haven't missed an Arizona convention yet because it's early. It's in January, and it's pretty cheap for me to go to Arizona. And we were like, I was with Sarah Daggers, who is just a sweetheart. And we were like, let's do some sign waving because she loves that. So what we decided to do was, you know how what's that tax service? It triggers me every single time. Liberty Tax. What a name. Oh my God. I get so triggered by that. Well, you know how they always have some dude sign waving out front with the Statue of Liberty costume on? Well, we all dressed up in the Statue of Liberty. costumes and went out there and stood with him with anti-taxation signs. And this poor dude was so confused. He's like looking at us like, where did you come from? All of you dressed up like me. And he was like, are you from corporate? I'm trying to find this picture of us because it was great, but I'm not having any luck. I thought I uploaded it to my, but I am finding some funny pictures. I thought I uploaded it to my Google Drive. Well, at some point I will find it and show you guys, but I would highly encourage you to do that because it really does freak those guys out. But yeah, dress up in Statue of Liberty, go out there in front of Liberty Tax and wave some anti-taxation signs. You know, it is really bugging me that I can't find that picture, but I know I have it in a million different places because it's one of my absolutely favorite pictures. All right, let's continue. Outlook material enclosed. Now, I do not have that enclosure. So it says enclosed for your convenience is material from Outlook, the #2 magazine in the Libertarian movement. Why not subscribe? Okay. I do have something funny I'm going to download and show you guys, though. So let me... This really isn't from the 70s, but I just saw these things, and you're going to laugh. So while I'm scrolling through, I'll see if there's any other things I want to show you, because you guys are going to laugh at what I'm about to show you on the screen here. But, okay, so Outlook, I do have some... versions of that, but not any that are this early. So 324 more Hosper's Nathan votes unearthed. Last month we reported that a total of 4,466 votes for the 72 LP ticket had been found. Since then, it gives some totals of additional votes that they found, which is pretty fantastic. Carl Bray is newest LP Life member. I have been keeping track of all of the Life members, so if you're interested in seeing that, that is all on, and I found the picture. Oh my God, you guys are going to laugh at these. Oh my God. Okay, let me download these so I can show you them. Huh. Where's the download button on Google Pictures? I am such a dork. You would think it would just be right there, right? I select, it says 7 selected. Okay. Well, let's continue while I'm trying to figure that out. Tax resistors multiply. The number of people battling IRS tyranny continues to rise. A is A News, and I do have some of those. I think it was a very short-lived newsletter, reports the formation of the Committee for Equality and Justice, and it gives information about that, and also mentions that they were covered in the National Observer for March 10th, 1973. And I tried to find that National Observer, and I couldn't find it. So I was curious as to what it said. It says Carl Bray's on their board of advisors. In San Diego, a federal kangaroo court found the San Diego 10, is that like the Notorious 9? Guilty of rescuing seized property and imposed probation and fines. And the last paragraph here is Libertarian muck-raking task force forming. Let me see here. Okay, Libertarian activists at Harvard University announced just before press time that financial backing has been pledged for a major muckraking investigation into HEW, I don't know what HEW is, and HUD this summer. The project is the first step in the creation of a permanent Naders Raiders style libertarian outfit in Washington, if enough libertarians can be found to make the whole thing feasible. I'm not so sure if this got off the ground. It says they need a minimum of 6 people. I couldn't find anything on this. It was called the Libertarian Task Force. It would be very interesting to find any further information about this if anyone knows if it took off. So let me show you the few things I wanted to, and then we will take some questions. So let me hide that, and let me show you some some pretty funny things. Where did those photos get downloaded to? Oh, weird. They didn't download all the way yet? It's only a couple photos. Is my internet connection that bad? That is super, super bizarre. Well, you know what? We're going to save that for a bonus episode because they just didn't download properly, and I am not going to waste your time with that, and it'll be something to look forward to. Okay, so let me then go to a different screen here. Just give me one sec. I have got way too much shit on my laptop here. Here we go. Okay, and let me, I don't need that up there right now. Unlock. I'm still learning this program, but I am getting so much better. So let me put up some of these comments I promised. So Mark Davis asks if I'm getting any feeling that LP leadership is being influenced by larger entities, Coach or Soros, etc. No, not at all. Obviously not Soros. I mean, I guess some people wouldn't say obviously because there is some leftist tendencies. But no, and the Koch brothers haven't been involved at the LP in a long, long time. We certainly aren't getting their money, despite some popular opinion. So no, I don't believe that's happening at all. And certainly, as a member of LP leadership, I certainly haven't felt either of those. I think what we're unfortunately getting influenced by is what I call the Sally Fields phenomena, where we want everyone to like us. Not everyone is going to like you. As I've said before, hardcore statists are gonna hate us. Get over it and work towards attracting the people who want to hear our message. There is no point in watering down our message. We have no reason to exist if we're not going to proclaim a clear libertarian message. The two old parties are much better at pandering than we are, and win. So why would anyone want to be involved with panderers that lose? As my friend Mark Montoni said, why hold back if you're not going to win? You know? What are you gonna, you're gonna, like, you know, lift your undies for nothing? Lift your skirt and show your undies for nothing? I guess that's what I'm trying to say, mixing metaphors. So, yeah, no, I don't think we are being influenced by any of those big money power brokers. And let me scroll through here, see if there's any other comments. I don't think there was. But I thank you all for attending, absolutely. And I'm going to show off the shirt again. For anyone who wasn't here in the beginning, this was gifted to me, inspired by my comments on the Dave Smith show when I said what would be a criticism I had. And it was, and I guess they took it as a compliment, which is nice. It's nice when somebody's criticism you can actually turn into a plus. And I said the Mises Caucus rubs some people the wrong way is that they're a bunch of young bucks full of piss and vinegar. So they made the piss and vinegar and young bucks shirt and sent me one. And I love, as I said, I love getting t-shirts. I've got way too many freaking t-shirts. It's absolutely insane. So now let me put this back up here. We are closing out. I will have bonus episodes, but here's my pitch. I did reach my first milestone on Patreon, but it really, really means a lot to me when I have people who can, and if you can't, do not feel guilty in the slightest, who can help support me for as little as $1 a month. It means a great deal, and it does pay for things like my newspapers.com subscription where I do research and helps me buy some of these things that I then donate to the National LP or keep in my personal archives if it's not directly LP related. to show you guys for general education of libertarian history and libertarian principles. So the link's up there. You'd make my night if you would become a patron. And I would like to give recognition to my current patrons. You will see there are some luminaries on there, such as Tom Woods and Stefan Kinsella, and I cannot tell you how honored I am that such heavyweights of libertarian philosophy appreciate my work. But we are all equal, and I appreciate everybody. Thank you, everyone on this list, and thank you, everyone who shares and likes and subscribes. I appreciate every single one of you. Not everyone is in a season where they can support. No guilt, but if you can, that's the libertarian way. And on my Patreon channel, I do have bonus episodes where we are going through books and delving into some more of the history of this time. And we are going through right now Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail 1972. It is fascinating. And probably will be recording another bit of this tonight. And yeah, there's going to be all kinds of books, some of them quite rare, that we're going to be doing as patron only episodes. And I think I'm going to start pre-releasing some things. I need to give value to my patrons. But thank you, everyone. I will hopefully do another bonus episode soon. I'm just having a hard time with my job. You don't want to hear my sob story. So, shit, and I've got a whole set of minutes I got to do tomorrow. Oh, I forgot. All right. Good night, everyone. And I will see you later.
You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a business, not because they want to